This video review, we're going to take a look at G.I. Joe Classified Series Alpine or Albert Pine. Okay, so this is the 360 view of the box packaging. Now we are ready to really play with this action figure. We're going to upgrade this to further enhance realism and aesthetics. Let's see. But first, let us examine the contents of our purchase. Okay, so we have the action figure out of packaging, and on visual inspection, I don't see any recycled G.I. Joe Classified Series parts, but I could be wrong. But majority of what I see, I think it's brand new. Okay, so just for the action figure, especially for the climbing rig, that is very specific, brand new for this action figure, so that's good, including the ice picks or the climbing access. Okay, so let's see whether that is going to be a recycled item, the basic mold, or that is new, that is really built for this action figure. But this and that actually is already a recycled item that we have seen with previous G.I. Joe Classified Series action figures. As for the eye cover, I think that is brand new, very specifically designed and made for Alpine. So if you love to display your action figures out of the box and not further tweak or improve on the accessories or parts of the action figure, well, it's good to note that this action figure captures the nostalgia experience of the O-ring version of Alpine. Okay, so with regards to design and the choice of accessories, yeah, so let's do a quick 360 view of the action figure. Okay, so there's a way to secure all of the items that comes in package. So you could have both of the hands hold on to one accessory. Like, for example, you have the right hand holding on to the grapple gun, the other hand or the left hand holding on to the hook and line. The weapon does not come with a sling, but you could jimmy that thing on the back of the action figure using friction of the rope, the rope accessory that comes with this action figure. Okay, so before we go into pointing out the items that are wrongly designed. Anyway, so as for the head unit, so does this capture the look of Alpine or the retro or the animated series? Yeah, I'm really contented with it. And let's examine if that accessory, the cup, is a newer version or that is a use of a remold. Okay, so let's take in Crazy Legs. The G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab Crazy Legs. Okay, so let's take off the goggles from Crazy Legs and let's compare hats. Okay, so as you could see, that is really a separately designed cup. It's very specific for Alpine. So the mold is totally different. So this is my outgoing Alpine action figure. Outgoing, which means that this is going to be replaced by the new G.I. Joe Classified Series purchase that we have. Okay, but we're going to further improve on the G.I. Joe Classified Series formula. So this is going to receive another kitbash. But one thing that I really like about the Action Force Valaverse Alpine figure that I have, of course, this is Alpine is a rack climber. Basically, his specialty is rock climbing. So one thing that this action figure can do, which this can't, is going to be that because of the hinge system for the neck. As for this action figure, no, you could only do this and a little bit of wiggling for the head. Now when you try to do a upward gaze or climbing gaze, you can't because of how the joint is actually designed. So look at that. Now the dumbbell joint rests way too deep on the head unit. Okay, so take a look at how deep that is. Now if you have seen my Jada Toys Guile action figure review, which I really raved about the head articulation on that guy, actually it is rightly designed by Jada Toys. So with regards to upward gazes like that, Jada Toys action figures has that capacity, while G.I. Joe Classified series would always have a locked neck because of how deep that neck joint is. If that was just way too shallower, we could have really good articulation point on this section. So even upward gazes is possible, but that is just way too deep. When you try to move it up, you're not going to get any point of articulation. So I'm now in the process of looking at my accessories bin for a neck replacement for this action figure. Okay, so aside from that, we're not going to tackle any more articulation points because this action figure already sports standard G.I. Joe Classified series articulation points. Okay, so next thing, we're already in the pointing out the design flows. Well, aside from pointing out earlier in this video that the primary weapon does not have a sling for retention of the primary weapon, yeah, that's it. So we're going to place a sling on this, so it's not just going to ride on the rope accessory that way. So it's going to really have a proper retention system. Okay, as for the design of the axis, there are, if you really make a extensive research into rock climbing and the accessories that is needed, this is correctly designed, wherein the chalk bag is positioned on the small of the back in this position, because when you're rock climbing and the chalk bag is going to be on this part, your hand could on your left hand could only access that chalk bag, but your right hand can't. So this is right position plus the harness system. Okay, now with regards to the attachments on the harness system, we have a lot of carabiners, but if you are going to make a really extensive research into accessories that are used or gear that is used for rock climbing, we have different gear that secures onto rock crevices and holes and whatever. So it's not just carabiners, but of course that's going to be hard to design because you have to have different molds and different attachment points. As for the coming back to the ice axis, so take a clue. Ice axis, it is meant for primarily when you're going to do a mountaineering mission of course, on a area that is heavily covered by ice and snow. Hence, the name for the gear, ice axe. But this isn't the right length and the right choice of edges or points on the ice axe for a rock climbing mission. Actually, for a rock climbing mission, the ice axe that rock climbers would carry would be a little bit smaller, and the head is not going to be, the other head of the ice axe is not going to be that. Actually, it's going to be a flat face hammer, and the pointed version is going to be used to test rock surfaces, whether it's going to get loose or not. But as to gear, whether this is used to really hold on to rock surfaces, no, it is not used that way. Actually, you climb mountain surfaces with your bare more or less with your bare hands. So yeah, this has gloved hands on and a chalk bag. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to actually replace this because that is just way too long and improper length for a rock climbing mission, which the MO or mission order of Alpine is. So we're going to replace this with the ones that are actually on this action figure. Yeah, so flat edge on the back for hammering, straight, it's going to be a straight handle because it's a tool, not a climbing thing. And we have a pointed edge to test rock surfaces. Okay, so the other thing that we're also going to change with this action figure is going to be the choice of footwear, just the foot. So this is more of a hiking boot, the design, but for a climbing boot, actually the design is really different. It's more on a flatter surfaces, and the points where that really matter in a climbing footwear is going to be the back and the toe, wherein this is more used for hiking or walking, not for doing this. So this is more for this or walking, but for this, that is not the right design. So something that really closely resembles a climbing footwear is going to be the one that is attached to crazy legs. So flat, the surfaces on the toe is more thinly profiled, so more designed for climbing surfaces. So we're just going to replace the footwear so from these two action figures. Okay, so let's get on with the changes. Okay, so this is going to be my version of Alpine. So let us first do a quick 360 view of the kitbash action figure. Okay, so per item that I discussed or pointed out earlier, so we already made changes. So one is going to be the neck piece. So that neck piece is from G.I. Joe Classified Series Beachhead, the first version. So the neckline, the neck piece of that action figure has a hinge system. So we're going to point out the articulation later, or actually we could already do that right now. Okay, so take a look at that. So Alpine could look up, Alpine could check down, and the neck piece, actually the color of that color mixes with the color of the jacket. Okay, so let's just think that he has a sweater or a shirt of some sort that has a turtleneck, and he wears that white shirt over that green turtleneck shirt, and he has his jacket on. Okay, it's a very simple thing. I still stayed true to the design of the original design of the action figure or the character. Okay, so we also replaced the headgear. So from the cap to a bump helmet to protect Alpine from falling rock or debris. And also, if just in case he loses his handhold on the mountain surface and he slams himself against the rock or the hard surface of that mountain, at least his head is protected, so he won't suffer from head contusion or head concussion. Okay, so we also changed the weapon system or the weapon platform, so that is already an HNK MP5. So the actually that is the weapon system that I had on my first kitbash version of Alpine. So it's from this figure which I showed earlier. Okay, so that MP5 has a sling system, and it's nicely tucked on the back of the action figure because it's light and nice, small, and compact. Okay, so we also changed the axis, so from this very huge climbing axe or ice pick to something that is shorter, smaller. Okay, so let's take one out. Okay, so we have still the axe retention system, so he could sling it just on that section. Okay, so this also belonged to the first kitbash version of Alpine that I had. Okay, so there you go. There's an axe to secure mountaineering equipment, so he could use the carabiners to latch on those secured items, and that pick is used to test rock surfaces or mountain surface. Okay, and it stores just like that. Okay, so that belongs to a Snake Eyes Origins basic action figure. So one of the weapons of, I think it's Storm Shadow, the basic action figure that we have with the movie series. Yeah. Okay, so nice and small. The back looks very, very clean. And we already changed. We also changed the footwear, so a more minimalist version, a climbing shoe. So we transferred the original piece to Crazy Legs, so actually thus improving the look of this action figure because of that black contrast on his boot. So take a look at that. Also improves Crazy Legs. So I hit two birds with one stone. Okay, so it's going. The last item that we did for this action figure is going to be this. Okay, so just very simple hemp cord. So instead of being constricted or constrained to that very short piece of cord that G.I. Joe Classified series gave us, so we have unlimited length. So wherever I wish to hang this action figure in a climbing pose, I have more than enough length that I need or wish for. Okay, so changes to the handheld grappling hook. So cut, glue, and we came up with this design. Okay, here we go. So it used to have a very long stem, and that piece is at the end of that stem. So I cut that piece, glued it to the top portion, and just rounded off this short piece of the stem, what remained of the stem. And for the gun, okay, so the grappling hook gun, which actually looks more like a crossbow than a grappling hook gun. So we cut off this portion and made that hole, huge hole, which accommodates the grappling hook. Okay, there you go. So instead of having two systems, we only have one system with enough line to put this action figure in very nice poses instead of just having constricted to very short cord. So anyway, we have this, so why not use it? So this ends my review of the G.I. Joe Classified Series Alpine, and a very simple kitbash recipe that I could share for you guys. So to improve, one, the neck articulation and the gear, and of course something that really could be nice for display and at the same time could be used for play. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.